Hey there. What if you could face a verbal toxic manipulator with stillness, clarity, and strength every single time? Know that you are in the right place, right now, as you step into this story. Conquering all liars, mastery of Stoic wisdom versus a toxic manipulator. Part 3. Storytime by T. Santoro. How do you stay calm when someone tries to pull you out of your peace? As this story unfolds, know that you will gain the wisdom of a Stoic leader, so you can keep your peace when facing a verbal, toxic manipulator's trap. Let's begin our story. We find ourselves back with Jessica and Paul on a quiet morning train ride through the heart of the Midwest. The morning sunlight spread across the open fields as the rhythm of the train wheels rolled with a steady heartbeat. Jessica sat by the window, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of coffee. Paul sat across from her, opening a bag of his usual snacks, ready for another talk that always seemed to steady his thought. Paul leaned forward. Jessica, tell me something. What do you do when someone tries to pull you back into your past, reminding you of the things you have already made peace with? Jessica looked out the window for a moment. Let truth speak for you, she said. There is never a reason to defend what has already healed. Remember this, Paul. When someone brings up your past, they are revealing their own unrest, not yours. Paul nodded slowly. So what do you say to them? Jessica smiled. I keep 3 calm responses close. They help me stay centered, no matter what words come my way. The train rolled through open farmland as Jessica continued. The first Stoic wisdom is to remain in your peace as you acknowledge the verbal, toxic manipulator's approach. You tell them with a calm and steady voice, that is a past chapter of my life that I already lived. The truth alone is enough to answer with. By doing this, you stopped hiding from your own story. It reminds the toxic manipulator that no one can use your past against you. Paul tilted his head. That is a powerful tool to use. It is simple, yet it disarms the toxic verbal attack. It keeps your peace without making you defensive. Jessica nodded. That's it, Paul. You got it. It works because it is not defensive. It is Stoic wisdom. You are not arguing. You are stating fact. The Stoics teach that peace comes from accepting what is, not from resisting what was. A woman sitting a few rows away looked up from her book. That sounds freeing, she said quietly, then returned to her reading. Jessica went on. The second Stoic wisdom response is ownership. When someone points to your past mistakes, say, yes, I learned from that. And it helped me grow. That statement turns your past from a wound into wisdom. Paul smiled. That one fits you perfectly. You have always been the type to turn lessons into strength. Jessica laughed softly. Thank you, Paul. It reminds me of something Marcus Aurelius once wrote when someone acts unjustly. It is because they do not understand what is right. Remain calm and let your peace be your strength. The train moved gently as silence settled again. Paul reached into his bag and handed Jessica a piece of chocolate. She accepted it with a small, knowing smile. So, what is the third Stoic wisdom of standing in your truth? Paul asked. Jessica leaned in. The third Stoic wisdom is clarity. You ask, why are you bringing this up now? That question puts the power back where it belongs and makes the other person face their motive. Paul chuckled. That one might stop them quick. It usually does, Jessica said calmly. You are not attacking. You are inviting truth. When people speak from love, that question helps them reflect. When they speak from pain, it shows them the mirror they have been avoiding. The train slowed as it passed through a small town. A man across the aisle lowered his newspaper. Do you really believe staying calm works better than defending yourself? Jessica met his eyes calmly. Yes. Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1 says, a gentle answer turns away wrath. Silence and stillness protect peace better than any words can. The man gave a short nod and returned to his paper. Paul looked thoughtful. So real strength is not in fighting back, it is in keeping your peace. Jessica smiled. Exactly. When you respond with stillness, you do not join their storm. You end it. Your calm becomes your shield. A young woman near the back whispered to her friend, "That sounds like truth." Jessica continued, "Remember, Paul, people who try to use your past against you do not see your growth. They are still stuck in their old idea of who you were. You have changed, but they have not updated the picture in their mind." Paul nodded. "So I say that is a past chapter of my life that I already lived, and leave it there." "Right," Jessica said. "Then you breathe and return to stillness. You owe no explanation for the lessons you have already learned." The train rolled back into open country. The land stretched wide and golden, and the quiet inside the car felt sacred. Jessica took another sip of her coffee. When people speak from hurt, they want you to react so they can feel in control again. But reaction is a gift you do not have to give. Paul smiled. "That sounds like something you would write on a wall." Jessica laughed. "Maybe I will. Neville Goddard once said, 'You become what you believe about yourself.' So believe that you are calm. Believe that your peace cannot be shaken. That is how stillness becomes your power." For a while, they both watched the fields pass by. The world outside looked simple and honest, nothing forced and nothing loud. Jessica finally said, when someone brings up your old story, "Remember this, you cannot change what has been written, but you can decide what chapter comes next." Paul looked out the window. "That is good. I will remember that." Jessica nodded. "Then you have already learned the lesson." The train began to slow as the next station came into view. Jessica turned toward you, the listener, and suggested for more ageless Stoic wisdom on the art of standing in your truth. Right after this story, enjoy part 1, Conquering All Liars, Mastering the Art of Standing in Your Truth, followed by part 2, Conquering All Liars, The Return Ride. The links are in the description. Paul gathered his snacks. "You always make these trips feel shorter," he said. Jessica smiled. "That is because wisdom makes every ride smoother." The train came to a stop. The doors opened with a hiss, and as Jessica stepped off, she offered 2 final words of wisdom. "Peace. See you in the stillness." If this story spoke to you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember to click the bell so you always hear a new story. And if you know someone who could use this message, share it with them. Because sometimes, a simple story is all it takes to spark something real.